All right, boys. Today we're going to be ranking the crew from the Pat McAfee show and some of the reoccurring guests they have on there. Where the hell's Joe? He knows we were starting this up.
Sleepy Joe, late, who would have ever guessed it?
Donald, don't get your panties in a bunch. Joe's here, and we haven't ranked anyone from the show yet.
Donald's crying already? Come on, man. You know, some of us have presidential responsibilities, like greeting and smelling the new women's basketball champions.
Man, what the hell, Joe? Let's not go down this road again, and let's just get on topic about one of the greatest sports shows out there today. We could all agree upon that, right?
You're right for once, Obama. College campuses, machine shops all across this great nation. Hell, even the Amish love this sports show. It's entertaining, it's high energy, it's what we want.
Now, this is Jill's favorite sports show to watch. Myself, I'm a Lee Corso type of guy, but I'll watch the McAfee show if it's on.
Oh, first up, we have AJ Hawk. I think he's a top A tier, limited by his toxic moments.
You gotta be joking. AJ's clearly S tier. His toxic energy balances out the weakness that some others can put off. What do you say, Joe?
Donald, I think I have to agree with you. When Dirty Mike and the boys took AJ Hawk's truck, it was one of the greatest show moments we've had recently.
Okay, I'm outvoted. We'll drop AJ in S tier and move on to AQ Shipley.
A tier.
B tier.
I have to agree with Donald on the A tier. AQ really started to steal the show after laying on that pile of men. Next, we got Billy Tubes on the camera. That's going to be a B tier from me.
That's agreeable.
I don't even know who this guy is. Who really cares when we got Boston Connor up next? S tier. Commie Connor is one of the best additions this show has ever picked up.
Not a surprise. Beijing Biden likes Commie Connor. He's a B tier at best.
I personally can't take anyone that's a Patriots fan seriously, so let's drop him into C tier. Then we've got Bruce working mostly behind the camera. I'll give him a C tier due to his lack of airtime.
Joe, isn't this the guy in charge of the Cash App giveaways that you've tried to reach out to a few times?
Yeah, this son of a bitch owes me $500 and hasn't responded back to me on Twitter. I'll tell you what, they're not getting Gumpy back until they pay me.
Joe, I don't believe you can ransom immigration into our country like that for Gumpy, but let's move on to the next guy. Chuck Pagano, the coach, has really won his way into my heart with his Keys to Victory segment, a mainstay during the football season.
Obama, I don't know what's going on today, but I couldn't agree with you more for once. The coach is clearly A tier. He's like an elder statesman. He's like Joe if his brain was still functional.
Donald, why are you sucking this wop off so hard? Does he rent a room in Mar-a-Lago from you or something? He's C tier, maybe. This old man should probably retire from sports entertainment.
Joe, you better be careful talking about old men needing to retire. We're definitely putting him in A tier. Then you have Darius Butler. My dog, D-Butt, is truly a mastermind when it comes to breaking down secondary play in football. Easy A tier.
Barack, I agree with the A tier. Darius is a tough hombre. He reminds me of a strong, young black man I knew when I was young named Corn Pops, who wasn't afraid to stand up and tell these white devils what's what.
Jesus Christ, Joe, always trying to divide the country. Darius is obviously a defensive mastermind. Let's put him in A tier.
Joe, I'm going to have to agree with Donald on this one. We need to stop with the devices rhetoric and focus on the sports talk here. You've already attacked Italian Americans. I'm not going to have any more of this or you'll be kicked from the call.
Come on, man. Don't be a horse-faced pony lover. Let's just move on to the next guy, Tony Diggs, the COVID cowboy. This guy's pretty good. I liked him in that show Montana. C tier.
Tone Diggs deserves a little more respect than that. She knows how to handle his money. I respect that. Hammer down, and let's put him in B tier.
While I'm not a big gambling man myself, he does head one of 3 shows under the Pat McAfee banner and will land in B tier. Next up, we got Foxy, another one of the guys working mostly behind the scenes. We see him on camera a little bit. I'll put him into C tier.
That seems respectable.
Okay, Jack.
And then we have Gumpy. This man threw away a dream job to smuggle Canadian peanut butter into the United States. He's going to get our first D tier since he has to use FaceTime to do his part of the show.
I'm going to agree on the D tier. This man has been talking to one of my long-term friends, Lisa Ann, and I do not like what I am hearing between them two. D tier.
Listen, this man's going to stay in D tier until I get my Cash App $500. I'm going to make sure immigration makes his life a living hell until I see that Cash App money.
Joe, you need to drop that $500 crap, because up next we have Met. He is the heel of the pod. This man is an S tier villain running amok, causing chaos on the pod.
Come on, man. You gotta be kidding me. He doesn't even know who Buzz Aldrin is. He's B tier at best.
Joe, I don't think you could relate to today's youth like Mitt does. I'm going to agree with Donald and put him in S tier. Since you brought up the pod, we've got Nick next. I think he's a solid A tier, one of the funniest members of the pod.
You're right. Nick is hilarious on the pod. I'm glad to see him getting married to a woman and putting the rumors of him being gay to rest.
I think it's past Joe's bedtime with some of these comments. Nick is hilarious and one of the top members of the pod. Easy A tier. In fact, I think the next reoccurring guest, Pac-Man Jones, deserves an A tier. His kick returns were so entertaining, amazing.
Donald, I do agree he was amazing to watch play football, but he's awkward when he's in studio, and I think he's a C tier.
Barack, I hear what you're saying, but he's a newer guest, and I think that'll dissipate with time. Let's give him a B tier right in the middle of the two of you.
And now we got the big man himself, Pat McAfee. We all know this one's going to be an S tier.
I'm usually not a big fan of Italians, but I'm going to give him the S tier.
Joe, I take it you're the one leaving all the negative reviews under the new Mario Brothers movie. It's awesome. And just like Pat McAfee, WWE, Game Day, his own show, it's high energy and you old men can't stand it. Just like I can't stand Ian Rappaport. Listen, this guy comes on the show, says he has no breaking news, then you look at his Twitter 2 minutes after we hang up and he breaks the biggest story of the month. This guy is a D tier for being an NFL Network shill.
I agree, Donald. This is a D tier. In fact, do we even have a picture of Ian Rappaport next to Andrew Siciliano? Because I don't know, in fact, that he is taller than Andrew. He may, in fact, be shorter than Andrew with all of these time calls he does and the angles.
I'm happy to hear us all agree upon this D tier ranking. And Barack, you're right about his height. Well, last time we had the NFL Network in the White House, I accidentally sniffed Ian Rappaport's hair because it was at my nose level. It smelled like beautiful roses. I thought it was Aaron Andrews until Ian turned around.
Damn it, Joe. Stop telling your creepy stories. Next on the list is Aaron Rodgers. I think this is an easy S tier, a reoccurring guest that really put the show on the map.
Barack, you have to be kidding me. This anti-vaccine clown is responsible for hundreds, if not thousands of grandmothers dying around our country. I have the documents proving it from Alex Jones himself, that this man's anti-vaccine stance killed hundreds, no, millions of grandmothers. D tier.
That's a little rough, Joe. I did create an amazing vaccine that Aaron turned down, but I will still give him an A tier. Now, if he would have took my vaccine, S tier, but at this point, A tier.
Now, boys, make sure we stick to the sports talk topic and nothing dangerous that'll get us banned off of YouTube. The next guy on our list is Ty Smith. I think this is an easy S tier. His Lou Holtz impression is one of the best on the show.
It's not only Lou Holtz. This man has a range of voices that really amps up the comedic value on the pod, the McAfee show, anything he's involved with. S tier.
He does have a couple funny voices, but elderly impressions are a dangerous road that I do not like to see us journey down. I'm going to give him a B.
That is some of the stupidest shit I've ever heard come out of your mouth, Joe. Barack, put him in S tier. Don't listen to this fool. I want to hear what he has to say about our last man here on the list, Zito.
Zito is a cool dude working behind the scenes, easily deserving of a B tier.
See, Joe, that's where you're wrong. Zito deserves an S tier, without question. Look at how the studio has progressed year after year, the production quality of the show. This is the guy behind the scenes making it happen. You need to have a little more appreciation for the common man, Joe.
I could give Zito an S rank just because he's from Chicago. But like Donald said, he's a hard worker and he takes advantage of that screen time, be it his Stone Cold Steve Austin outfit or the draft spectacular with that amazing suit. And let's not forget the time he drove the RV to the MetLife Stadium. It'll never be forgotten in show history. Easy S tier.
Barack, I had forgotten about the time he had wrecked that RV. Truly one of the most hilarious moments in show history. He's not just S tier, he's top of S tier.
Agreed. Now let's get out of here. I think Joe's fallen asleep.